Good morning, pilgrims. It is day one on the Camino Francés. But wait a second. I'm already in Santiago, so how could this be possible? Well, the reason is I'm doing the Camino Francés in reverse. Yes, I'm heading towards Rome. I started about 40 days ago in Sevilla and I walked the Via de la Plata, making my way up here to Santiago, where I arrived yesterday. And we have a rainy day. Galicia has just been raining the whole time. Just look at that cathedral. It's a cold morning, 50 degrees today. It is April 6, 2024, and I started on February 29. So let's find a place to have a café con leche because it's cold and it looks like they're setting up for a marathon here in the plaza. Now, how come I don't have the bagpiper here to send me off?
This series is sponsored by Rejuvenate Advanced Vitality Cream. Moisturize your skin. Gentle, no irritants. Rejuvenate, where nature meets science.
So this is what the streets of Santiago look like when they're empty. Since I'm gonna be swimming up against the current, I'm getting the feeling that this is what it's gonna be like in the mornings when I leave the Albergues and I head in the opposite direction. I will probably have the Camino all to myself until about the halfway point. When I hit the bubble, I'll probably start seeing first like the really fast hikers, then the bubble, probably have lunch there, and then in the afternoon, I'll have it all to myself again with the occasional slow hiker passing me by. It's interesting, man. I know the Camino Frances like the back of my hand. I know it. I can visualize it. I know the names of all the towns. But doing it in reverse is gonna be a new experience, which is what it's all about. Every time I do the Camino, I want to do it differently. I have done it on an e-bike. I have walked it. I have been on a car. I have done a little section on horseback. And now doing it in reverse is gonna be memorable indeed. So yeah, I see opens cafes, they're starting to open up, the sun or the light is coming about, which is nice because I need it so that I can film as much as I can. Let's hit this cafe over here. This is definitely gonna be interesting. I just had my first breakfast on the Camino, my café con leche and toast, and it was just the locals in the bar, and the bartender is Cuban. So yeah, I'm starting to see a trickle of pilgrims coming my way, and I think that's just the tip of the spear that's about to hit me. Now, this Camino in reverse, I don't know if there's gonna be plenty of yellow arrows to follow it. I think if I remember correctly from previous Caminos, you do get to see like a blue arrow, but I have my very own GPS tracks, which you guys already know, that I populated them over the years, and I will update it as well on this trip if I see anything that's not reflected here. So with this and my memory, I will never get lost, or at least that's the plan. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Oh yeah, this is interesting. And from here on out is the climb to Monte de Gozo. It's gonna be short and sweet. I mean, steep. Up here in Montes de Gozo, there used to be a massive monument that was very iconic. I saw it on my first Camino in 2017, and I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be dropping some images from all of my Caminos, reliving all those experiences, reminiscing, And by the way, if you want to see the statues of the pilgrims like that, holding their arms out, that's kind of like away from the Camino, so you have to do a detour. From up here is when you get to see the cathedral for the first time, say hello. In my case, it's goodbye. I won't be back here in Santiago for a while now because this trip to Rome is gonna take some time. It's gonna take 3 months from Sevilla to the border with France. I had to go home, of course, because I can only be here for 3 months at a time, and then I have to leave the EU, and then I can come back either at the end of this year in the fall, or better yet, do it next spring so that I arrive in Rome and walk through Tuscany in May, which should be incredibly beautiful. So goodbye, Santiago. I'll see you probably in 2025 or 26. We'll see. On the Via de la Plata, there were sections where I had to carry some water and food because there was a lack of support. I don't think this is gonna happen on this one. I remember having lunch in this bar quite a few times, and now I'm passing by early in the morning. Is it time for the mid-morning coffee break? Nah, I think I'm gonna have that one just before I get to the airport. As you can see, it has begun. It's wave after wave, like a hurricane, slowly trickling and then getting thicker and thicker with more people. And I just got my first, "You're going in the wrong direction." I just had a laugh. I had a moment with the guy telling him, "You were the first one." And it happened right across from the TV station. The weather is holding up. So far, it's really windy and cloudy, but at least it's not raining. Temperature-wise, it's a cool 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's the weather report for today. I do have to say the biggest differences so far is kind of obvious, and it is the elevation profile is all backwards now. So those really tough climbs up here are now like a nice descent for me. Now this here is the spot where you're supposed to take a bath just before you enter Santiago. It's an old tradition that not many pilgrims follow anymore. We got showers now. So unless you're doing stealth camping, there is no reason to get in that cold, freezing water. No, sir. But this is the first time that I come down here. On the Via de la Plata, I saw this many times. I had to cross so many streams that it was just crazy. So yeah, I'll probably get in one day if I do it in the summertime. Should we bring back this tradition? Yeah, and see hundreds of naked pilgrims here? I don't think so. Ooh, man, these stairs are just so slippery. "10 kilometers in, and I already had my mid-morning break. And I had a coffee and a slice of Spanish tortilla, which I haven't had enough on this trip, so I'm gonna be digging into that even more. And the best thing about having a break at a cafe on this section from Santiago to Sarria is that I don't have to do the line to get the multiple stamps on my credencial. No, sir, I don't need to do that anymore. Well, here we are are by the airport, the most secure zone in Santiago. This airport, many pilgrims leave through here, or they come here if they're doing the last 100 kilometers and then they take a bus to Sarria. Not the prettiest of sections on the Camino, but at least we're leaving everything behind. We're leaving a major city. We left the suburbs, the industrial area, the airport now, and then we're gonna enter those beautiful Galician forests that I like so much. Up ahead is a monument that has been degrading ever since I did this Camino in 2017 when it was nice and beautiful. But after they built the highway, I think the whole section, the whole area just got demolished. I wish it comes back to life one day, just like in 2017. I couldn't leave the airport without stopping by and saying hi to my Colombian friend. Last time that I saw him was when? In 2022. Yes, because last year I don't think he was here when we passed by. Got a snack for the road, and I also got a stamp. And yes, I know what I was talking about, but when the stamp is a wax stamp, I make the exception. On the Camino Portuguese last year in August, I took my own kit and I was handing out stamps to all my friends, to all my pilgrim friends, and anybody that wanted it. And it was a nice gesture. They really liked it. I didn't bring it on this one because two reasons. One, I was trying to cut down on the weight. I'm carrying a lot of weight. When I left my house, it was 30 pounds or about 13 kilos, and I keep adding more and more things to it. I added a shirt, I added a water bottle, I added the sleeping bag, the Compostela, which I got yesterday. And I also got a bunch of, those distance patches. I got one for every Camino that I've done here in Spain that they have. And it was like 12 of them. And then I had to go to a shiny store to buy some glue stick. So I have all that with me. What I'm gonna do, my backpack is clean right now. It's like every day I'm gonna add a patch to my backpack, and I'll talk about that Camino and give you my experience from it. That way, at least for the next 12 days, we have something to talk about, something interesting, and I'm really gonna appreciate it on this stretch from here to Sarria. And once I break through that wall of people, and I get to O Pedrouzo and I say goodbye to Galicia, then things are gonna get quieter and we'll be able to enjoy more of the countryside. Right now, I'm on my own, so it only means one thing. I think I broke through the bubble by the airport, by the halfway point, and maybe this stretch to O Pedrouzo is gonna get quieter and quieter, and I may see a couple of crazy guys that are doing like a 30 or 40 kilometer a day. We'll see. Enjoy this snack first. Now we are talking. Yes, in the forest, we left everything behind already, all that industrial section, all the pilgrims, or the majority, have passed me by, and I'm out here on the Camino by myself. I'm gonna love the afternoons on the Camino, and everything in reverse looks so much different. It's like a little bit of deja vu, and like, I know this place, but it looks there's something off, you might say. I have gotten 3. You're going the wrong way. I'm gonna count them every single day. And I'm loving it. I'm back out here in the countryside, getting closer and closer to O Pedrouzo. And man, I don't know. I'm loving this day. I know it is day 1, but I feel like this Camino has been hiding in plain sight. Just like those blue arrows that are right behind the stone markers that we don't pay attention to them when we're walking, following the yellow arrows now is what I'm using for navigation. Are you loving it? I am. I feel like I'm gonna have a great time. It's not as muddy as it's been on days past, but I know that in O Pedrouzo, just by looking at the webcam, I'll leave you guys a link in the description so you can check it out from home. It's just covered in snow right now, but I won't make it to O Pedrouzo for a few days, at least a week. So maybe by the time I get there, the snow has already melted. It's been a nice walk, I have to say. It's just the profile doing it in reverse is going downhill and just seeing all the other pilgrims struggling on their climbs. All right, let's get to town, let's get to the albergue, have lunch, and see new faces. As I will every single day. Because I'm gonna see every pilgrim that will do the Camino in April and May. Every single one of them. I'm gonna say buen camino as I pass them by. It's gonna be crazy. Here we go. 19.136 kilometers. It's funny because this stone marker, I have only seen it in pitch darkness when I leave O Pedrouzo early in the morning to head over to Santiago, and I know this curve very well. There's O Pedrouzo, made it here at 1:40 in the afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and check in the albergue, leave all my stuff, and before I even take a shower, gonna head out to get a bite to eat. My God, it's been windy, it's been unreal, I have to say. But at least it didn't rain. We were supposed to get rain all day, and not a single drop. So I call that a successful first day, for sure. Do you want to see what a room full of Spanish kids looks like? So here I am at the albergue, made it here, couldn't help myself but to take that shower before heading out and getting a bite to eat. For lunch, I went to the bar across the street and I went for a massive burger with a beer and fries and a cortadito. I'm gonna have to have a salad this afternoon just to make up for it. But I have the hiker's hunger. I've been walking for 33 days already and my body just needs the fuel. So I got a bottom bunk bed just because the guy up here, another student, he didn't want it, so thank you so much. Bottom bunk beds on this leg of the trip are a luxury, for sure. And I started charging all my electronics before people started noticing. By the way, this place has a laundry room here with a washer and a dryer. I don't need to do my clothes for the next few days because I did them yesterday. And, I couldn't help myself. I was going to put just one patch. I ended up filling the entire thing. So I still got like 4 or 5 left. Maybe I can put them at the top. But as of right now, the entire back of my backpack is full of patches with the longest caminos that I've done. Wow, man, it feels so weird to be here in O Pedrouzo on my first day. This is the type of town where people are just celebrating, getting ready for tomorrow, which is gonna be their last day. There is the supermarket where I buy my bottle of red wine that I used to celebrate when I get to the cathedral. I did it yesterday. I bought it at a place close to Santiago on the approach. There's also the place where I buy my empanadas that I've been having every time I pass through. I mean, this is like a very tiny little place. This is not like a huge town or anything like that. And it's mostly like a collection of either albergues or places to eat. They also have ATMs, supermarket, I mean, you name it. And I think they also have a laundromat. And who's gonna be the lucky troll angel of the day that's gonna be the first one on this trip? But Jonas Spivak. Thank you so much for your troll magic, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m., 8 o'clock. I don't know, I'm sure people are gonna start waking up at 5:30 or 6. I mean, it is the last day for them after all, but I don't wanna leave until the sun comes out. So I think that's gonna be around 8 o'clock. I'll have breakfast around then, and then head to Arzua, another great town on this section of the Camino. See you then.